Hello, and welcome to the Parent Snippet for Story Time. I have a few things, parents, that I just wanted to take a second and talk to you directly about before I start introducing stories to children. So, with so much going on, this is one of my favorite times of year to be able to go to the apple orchard to talk about colors and seasons and the different foods we're eating, some different holidays, to really do some fun hands-on activities with the children. When I had a home daycare, one of our annual field trips was to go to the apple orchard, and the children would pick a bag of apples and also come home with a pumpkin. Since we will not be doing that, what we will be, we'll just be doing it in a more online fashion since this is an online learning platform. Much like when we released the butterflies, I took the field trip to Elizabeth Park Rose Garden to do so. I will be going to a local, when I say local, I mean in Connecticut, apple orchard, and so I will virtually bring the children along with me for the field trip. I encourage you to try some of the activities that I would post, do some of the activities as far as leaves gathering and leaf printing, or a variety of things. I never know which direction I'm going to go, and I have lots of different ideas. I will tell you that we will be looking at some fun apple books and books about the apple orchard, and this one is specifically a day at the apple orchard and apple and pumpkin picking. We will also be talking about leaves and fall, and going on a leaf hunt, which is a really fun activity to do. And then just some real like science facts about fall. So that will be coming up toward, I want to say, maybe going the beginning of October. We're going to end September with celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And I wanted to take some time to acknowledge my brown children that are watching me. Anybody who is from a Latino background, I'm going to be presenting stories about children that look like you. And some of these I may have presented before. You can go back and see some activities. There is an activity with Dora. We did some matching of island foods. I believe I read Market Day already. So again, just want to showcase, these are some of the books that may be featured, but just to let you know, I am thinking about you too. Hola, how are you? And I got you for Hispanic Heritage Month. Again, representation matters. And again, my platform is really trying to reach children that look like me, that I have been working with all the while. Again, diversity is huge. So if you're not someone who looks like me, that's okay. I'm for you too. I'm here to introduce you to things that may be for friends or other family members that have these backgrounds. So parents, please welcome children to come and sit, even if they are not of a Hispanic background. The other thing that's huge that's coming up, and children are going to hear a lot around it, is voting. All right, so I got you on that front too. These stories are a little bit for older children because the whole concept of voting might be something that older children are able to grasp, but I want to encourage you to try to break that down to bite-sized pieces where little ones can get it. I feel like our children have the cognitive ability to embrace a lot of different ideas. It's all about presentation. If we make it too complex for them, no, they're not going to get it. But if we do break it down into ways that they can understand, if mommy just tells you a little bit, maybe just vote on what's for dinner tonight, and then maybe make a chart. We'll do some fun things with that. But again, I'm going to be reading Duck for President and My Teacher for President. And what's wonderful about this is I'm going to do a giveaway. So I have a few copies of My Teacher for President. So I have two giveaways. These will be for children that are older. I'm going to say anybody who's in first, second, or third grade. This probably would be a better story for them. So if you have a first, second, or third grader and you are interested in the giveaway, stay tuned for a post and the instructions will be there. It'll be something simple like this post. Maybe check out the website or go on our YouTube channel and like a video or something like that, just so that I know that you are actually entered to win this story. I want to take a second and I want to look at the Connecticut Early Learning Development Standards. Let me slow down, I'm excited. So I want to stop and take a second to look at the Connecticut Early Learning Development Standards. Again, Children are learning through play, so this concept of being able to meet them where they are and enrich what they're doing. Yes, they're playing, and it could just be in the mind of a child, but we can bring so much knowledge to what they're actually learning and enhance what they're learning so that they are grabbing concepts and grasping concepts that maybe otherwise would have gone overlooked. So when it comes to some of the things that we're talking about as far as the seasons and voting and Hispanic Heritage Month, I like to look at cognition. And cognition is basically thinking. What the Connecticut Early Learning Development Standard says is that it's making sense of the world, staying with something, and working hard to solve a problem. So when we start doing some of our Apple activities, they have to cognitively think about the Let's Go Picking ABC game. When we start looking at our candy corn counting and matching, maybe it might be hard for a little one who's just learning their numbers. Maybe the 2 and the 5 look alike. Maybe the 6 and the 9 look alike. And they have to really focus and get with it. If we're talking about going on a leaf hunt, and if you're just learning your colors, again, we take it for granted. We know our colors, but if you're a little one who's just learning their colors, maybe it's hard to distinguish red from orange. Or maybe your favorite is green, so every color to you is green. This concept of cognition and staying with something, that's where parents come in, and that's where I come in right here with you to engage children in that learning and give you a little bit of parent tips if you have not already begun implementing that. So what can you do to encourage your little one's cognition? It says exploring. You want to encourage them to ask questions and make choices, which talks a little bit about like the voting that we talked about, and maybe voting for what's for dinner. But even simpler than that, simply making a choice of what flavor oatmeal would you like for breakfast. Small things like that are very empowering. And for you, it doesn't matter to you if the child chooses apple cinnamon or maple brown sugar. It's just that for the child, it's very important. It says my choices matter, my voice matters, it matters what I want to eat. And sometimes parents, I find that it can bring down this sense of that kind of battle of wills. We'll just choose maple brown sugar just because that's what we like. But you ever notice that the child is kind of having a tough time getting through breakfast? Maybe they've eaten maple brown sugar every day and they're bored of it, and they want something different to spice it up. So that idea of giving them a choice, you might see the battle of wills kind of go down, because it's a little empowering to say, hey, I picked the flavor I want to eat. I picked whether I want a red apple or a green apple. Parents, do we really care if they choose red or green? Not really. It's more about them getting the nourishment that they need and doing it in a way where it doesn't become a battle of wills. Do we care if they wear their blue jeans or their red pants? Probably not. So why create these battles? You have to pick your battles. And if it's something that is going to help your child kind of learn lessons and feel empowered and feel like their voice matters and what they have to say matters and what they think matters, try implementing that. So pretending and having fun. I think we're going to do a really good job of doing a virtual field trip to the apple orchard. That's going to be so enjoyable. Even if you're not able to go, the idea of being able to engage with story time and watch us walk through the apple orchard and look at the different pumpkins and even the activities, it's almost a vicarious experience. So vicariously, if you're not able to make it to the apple orchard, no worries, I got you, and I'll be virtually bringing the children to the apple orchard. Again, it talked about remembering. Remember I said trying to know the difference between 2 and 5. If you're a little one, that's big. Understanding the difference between red and orange when your favorite color is green. And to try new and difficult things. So we will be doing some of that, which is the cognitive area, which deals with thinking, and also the other Connecticut Early Learning Development Standard that we're going to implement is social studies. Social studies is understanding the world and knowing about the people in it, and it starts again with knowing your family and your community and then the world. And when we looked at Earth Day, we really build this out, this sense of family first, then you build out to community, then you build out to the world. Well, we're going to look at that. What is your family talking about? Is your family talking a lot about voting and how important it is to vote, and I'm going to go vote, and I have my absentee ballot, and are we hearing these things from maybe people that they're watching on TV? We can implement that. We can bring that in and teach children concepts like that. It doesn't have to be foreign just because children don't really cast a vote. How can we help them to cast a vote? What will we watch on TV tonight? Let's vote about that. And maybe what day will we go to the apple orchard? Are we going to go on a Friday or a Saturday? Small things like that, that we can bring what is a huge concept and break it down and bring it to a way that children can understand it. So again, what adults can do to help is to help them understand family, give them stories about the past. And I don't know if you can talk about maybe the first time that you voted, or maybe what was really important to you about voting. Talk about, there's so much going on in the world. So you can even talk about maybe the concept of when I was a child, parents and caregivers, if you're TT or your Nana and you have a little one that you have been entrusted with, you can share those stories with them. It makes a difference. I know I use parents a lot, but I'm speaking to anyone who is caregiving and watching over a child. Again, recognizing how people are the same and different, and that talks to diversity. How are we the same? How are we different? Why is it important that some people really exercise their vote to right? I'm sorry, their vote to right. Why is it important that some exercise their right to vote? Why do some feel like their vote doesn't matter? We can talk about all these things on a really, really basic child level. Maybe for the child, understanding that it doesn't matter what I want to watch on TV because my big sister or my big cousin always gets to choose their show. How can we make that equal? How can we break that down to maybe that's why it's important for people of color to get out there and rock the vote, because historically that was something that wasn't really our right, and people who came before us really, really made a lot of sacrifices for us to get there. So again, a lot and a little bit, but I want to encourage you to please watch story time, engage with a little one that you love, get ready to go on some virtual field trips, get ready to enter a giveaway, and I'll make a shorter post that will talk about the giveaways and what to do. But again, I'm here with you, families. Some of you may still be engaged in minimally going out and staying home and staying safe. And Miss Nicole is here to help you stay sane. So thank you for joining me. And I'll be coming up with, this week we're going to really do Hispanic heritage. And then we'll move into the apple picking and all the fall things, and then head into voting and on to Thanksgiving. There's so much to cover. I love children's books. I have so many different stories that I want to be able to go over with children. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me.